tips for switching from benching on toes to a flat foot. This is easy. Put your feet out in front of you when you're on the bench. So yeah, my phone's gonna get fucking smashed. When you're laying on the bench, you want your feet out in front of your knees. So as you go to press the bar off the chest, you can do like a leg extension and push your foot, almost push your toes out the front of your shoe, and it's gonna push back. Yes, I have, I'm working on it. So you push your feet forward and it's gonna drive the force back up through your body, up through your hands when you bench. This is a lot easier for a lot of people to get leg drive that way, myself included. I've never, for whatever reason, been able to pick it up real well with my feet tucked way back underneath me. So this has helped. It's also a really good option for your longer athletes. Most benches are around 17 inches high, and if you have, what's up, Depp? I lost my entire last video because my phone was on the dashboard in the sun and it fucking got cooked and shut off. So if you got a 6'7" guy on a 17-inch bench and you got his feet tucked way back underneath him, that's not a good option. So get your feet out in front of you, get them a little wider, and then when you go to press, drive your feet forward like you're doing a leg extension or leg press. And that'll be an easy way for you to get some leg drive. It's a really, to me, it's way easier to do it that way. Possible to continue with powerlifting with herniated discs. I'm not a doctor, but yeah, there's a lot of people have done it before. Like I said before, if we went and MRI'd a bunch of powerlifters, there's probably a decent number of them that would have some disc herniations going on. But everybody's different, you know. The degree that it's pushing on the nerve, the degree that it's bothering you, causing pain. The big point takeaway on this is get it fixed. If there's an issue and it's screwing with your lifting and hurts, like, go get it taken care of. You've got plenty of time. That's advice that I'm not sure I would have listened, but a few years ago, I wish somebody, you know, would have said, you know, you're getting strong, you're making progress, take your time. You have a lot of time left. You know, I'd get little injuries and stuff, and they just keep getting worse because you feel like the next meet's coming up, the next thing, you got to go. Take your time, man. You can take 6 months off and still be fine. So get it fixed before, you know, and there's things you can do to stay strong in the meantime. It's not like you just go sit on the couch or whatever. Do I have a Spotify playlist for workouts? If so, yes, it's Nate Harvey 2600. Lots of Hatebreed, Slayer, Electric Wizard. I think I was big into I did this about a year ago. The Sword. Well, get it fixed, man. Take your time, get it fixed, do the rehab. You're not paying your bills by going to the next meet or fucking keeping your bench, you know. If your bench takes a dip for a few months, you still got a roof over your head. So yeah, Nate Harvey 2600 is a Spotify playlist. I haven't added much to it in the last year or so. Pectoral hypertrophy. What's my go-to exercise for aesthetics? I always hate saying like this is the best exercise. It's actually getting better. Still high though, probably. That's what pills are for. I hate to say there's like a best exercise for everything. For me, if I want to work on my pecs, to try to get them stronger, I'm too fat to worry about aesthetics at this point, and my whole life, not just at this point. Like dumbbell work, tempo work. I've been doing a thing past couple weeks I kind of like. kind of at the end of my upper body, at the end of my speed days. Try taking 10% of your bench max. So if I'm a 400-pound bencher, I'll grab 40-pound dumbbells, and then you're just going to grab one, and you're going to go 1 hour at a time. So go 10 reps on one, 10 reps on the other, and I'll roll through that 10 times with no rest. But the thing is, go slow. So it's a nice 3-second eccentric. Don't jerk out of the bottom and then squeeze up nice and slow. So we're trying not to use any momentum. So like I said, there's really no best exercise. I think a lot of people miss out on kind of changing up the tempo to get some variation in the training. That's been working well. Another thing I've been doing is just some down sets. On my heavy days, I'll work up to whatever my top weight is, take 75% of that, and hit like 2 sets of 5, 2 or 3 sets of 5. If I'm feeling good, I'll take a third set where I kind of hit some more reps. Don't go to failure, but you know, a couple reps short of that. That seems to be working. I feel like it's helping get the tissue stimulated and put a little size on. So those are some different things for pectoral hypertrophy. What's up, Dylan? For recovery, would it be better to do your jiu-jitsu training and your heavy days on the same day, or rotate them, separate them by a day to kind of spread out your stressors, I guess? It's hard to say. Like I talked about, there's too many factors really to give you a really solid answer. Honestly, I would just play around with it and see what works best for you. You know, your age plays into that, and where you're at in your year too. Do you have a big competition coming up? You know, where your priorities at? Is it okay to, you know, are you at a time where your jiu-jitsu needs to take priority over strength? So, you know, you may use more gas on jiu-jitsu and then have a little less left over for your max effort workouts. So there's a ton of different factors, I think, and everybody's going to be different, you know, so play around with it and see what works best for you. All right, that's all we got on the stickers. So this is the point where my phone got cooked just a second ago. So hopefully I moved the car so we're not in the sun. Let me scroll down through these and see if we got anything else. To go back to the blood pressure, my blood pressure's been a little high over the past few years, mainly I think because of stress. Not that my life's terribly stressful, but certain things stress me out and I get fucking wound up. And a couple things I did, this sounds crazy, I did really easy light cardio 3 times a week, and I started drinking a shake every day with a cup of, I saw Stan Efferding post something about some blood pressure stuff, and one of the things they recommended was some, the hell is it? Spinach in your shake. Put a cup of spinach in the shake. I did that for about a month and walked like, I always got 3 in, sometimes 4 sessions a week, just a real light sled drag, 15-20 minutes. It took about 3 weeks, and then I took my blood pressure, and it was like both numbers were down significantly. So if you're looking for a quick fix, try that. Dr. Harvey. There's fucking Dr. Harvey's advice. How do you know when your brief suit is on far enough? Last max effort day, I pulled my leg seams up way higher than I have, and it was so much easier to sit back and set a big PR. All right. So for me, I can feel the, not to be too graphic, but when I get it, when I know they're on right, I can feel the briefs right up on my undercarriage, right in the taint. You'll feel it kind of get in there and get in between your legs and stuff, and that's typically where you want it. Now you can mess with it a little bit. So when you do that, your the pant legs or brief legs are going to be up higher on your leg. You can mess around with that a little bit, and I think pull the leg back down, the leg, and it'll help get a little more leverage. Gives you a little more fabric to push out against with your legs. And maybe, you know, sometimes if it's harder to get depth, you may get more out of the gear. So it's a fine line though. If you go too far with that, I think you're asking for trouble and can kind of get in a bad spot. So typically it's best to get it way up in there. It may be it's in my post, somewhere in my posts, probably 3-4 months back. I did a video where I got my briefs on in 1 minute and 30 seconds. Go watch that. And the best way to get your legs all the way in when you're putting those things on is get your fingers underneath the outside of the pant leg and almost pull it up your legs as far as it'll go on both sides. And then you'll see in that video, you put your feet out in a wide stance and you kind of rock back and forth, and on the inner part of your thigh, push the tissue into your skin and pull it down so it pulls your skin and muscle and stuff out of the brief, and to let the brief slide up your leg to where it should be. And then, like I said, you'll feel it kind of wedge up in the nether regions, and you'll know when that's when they're where they should be. And then make sure you got the tops of them pulled up. What shoulder accessory do I like for scapula? This is a good question. There's a lot of things. Something I've been doing lately that I think is helping my shoulders. When I do shrugs, when I do a shoulder press, back move, not so much the rows, but like shrugs and a shoulder press, definitely shrugs. Pay attention to, there's like the bottom angle of your scap. Everybody does shrugs and they think about trying to use their traps to pull the weight up. Don't do that. When you're doing shrugs, you got that bottom little angle. Your scapula is like a triangle. Here's the bottom angle. Think about that bottom, moving that bottom angle up and down your back, and that's going to help get that tissue in there and I think mobilize your scaps a little bit. So try that, and just try it with some light shrugs and see if your shoulders don't kind of feel better. And like all your shoulder rehab stuff too, try to focus on that bottom, they call it the inferior angle of your scapula. So the bottom little point of your scap. I've been doing shoulder presses with dumbbells, and I think it's helping. For years I didn't do overhead stuff because it kind of hurt, and I think part of the reason it hurts because it's so damn weak in that position. So I'm trying to slowly creep that up, and it does seem to be helping how my overall shoulders feel. So yeah, but lots of YTs, lots of Y-rays on a bench. So just the typical stuff. I've been doing max effort bench, 2 max effort bench days a week, a non-shirted and a shirted day. Have you ever done this? It's been working very well so far. I haven't. The closest I came to doing something like that was in the early 2000s, back when the Metal Militia stuff was real popular. Actually, I didn't even have a shirt, so I would do like one full range day, and then the other day was lockout work, which I think they would do I can't remember, but it was kind of following their template. And the way I did it was a full range day and a lockout day with boards. My bench took off at first for a while, and then I felt like it was beating me up. But that could have been on me. That could have been, I wasn't eating enough, sleeping enough, all that stuff. But yeah, that's the closest I've come to that, doing that. Yeah, cambered squat bar is awesome. Love it. What's cool about the cambered squat, a lot of people will box squat and they'll sit and let their torso rock back and then rock forward and stand up. Cambered bar forces you to sit, keep a little forward lean. It forces you to stay in a straight bar path from the side. You don't want any of this on the box ever, in my opinion. And the cambered bar will help with that, because if you rock forward, the bar's going to rock forward and it'll kind of kick your ass. So yeah, it's a good bar. All right, man, that's about all the questions. Thanks for dropping in. I hope all you guys kick ass tonight on Friday Night Football. Let's see who else is in here. If nobody else has any questions, I think we'll bounce. How do you get the release if you don't rock back? I know what you're saying. I'm trying to think of the best way to explain this. It's for me and the people I've worked with in the past, it's really hard to do that without it turning into a shit show. And even for me personally, it kind of messes my timing up squatting. So I don't coach that much. Now, if a kid was a better lifter, and their form looked okay and they naturally did that, I kind of let them go with it. But for the most part, teaching and coaching, I don't like to have that rock or roll in there. It's real hard, and maybe this was on my coaching. It was really hard to communicate that or get people to do it right without rocking back. What Louis talking about is a release in the glutes, so the hips. I don't even know if he wants the hips to release, but it's a total relaxation of the glutes. And I think what he's looking for is relax and then snap back on really fast. So for me, it's better to just sit, pause, let those things relax, and then hit them without the release. But that's just my experience. Because, like I said, too many people, it's too quick it's too easy for them to take it too far, and then they start rocking backwards. All right, I think that's it. Cool. Thanks for the questions. Have a good weekend. What's going on? Open to do some seminars. If anybody wants to get something rolling, let me know. Email me, DM, whatever. Looking to get out and do some stuff. I'm still working on the throwers book. I don't think I'm not gonna make it out by fall. Summer got too crazy, but it's still in the works. Hopefully in a couple months here we'll have that ready to roll, but I'll blab it all over social media, so we'll get that started. We're gonna get a website up and running, where I can sell that and get some stuff out. So all right, later.